In these days of such indecision, I'm wondering what your take is in terms of just the broader economic impact here, why we should be so concerned, other than the fact that Washington can't seem to get this accomplished.
Well, we should be concerned because Washington cannot get its act together. Our economy is facing distinct headwinds. Employment is problematic. The unemployment rate is high. Credit is not flowing the way it should be flowing. The housing market is not regaining its composure. And on top of that, we're starting to worry about the public finances. So we need leadership out of Washington. And the longer this leadership is lacking, the more worried markets are going to get, not only in the United States, but all over the world.
In terms of where the give is going to come from, because, I mean, looking at this August 2nd deadline, do you think that we actually pass that without a deal here?
I hope not. I think that we're going to get a mini deal. What we need is a grand bargain, but we'll probably end up with a mini deal. And I say I hope not because if we pass August 2nd and the Treasury is forced to make decisions about which payments to make and which payments not to make, we will be in the land of the unpredictable.
But you say you think we're going to get a mini deal. The president has said, even today, speaking publicly, he's prepared to take significant heat from his own party. He has said time and time again he is unwilling to sign a 30, 60, 90-day agreement to just, if you will, kick the can down the road. You still think, despite that from the president, that we will see a mini deal?
Yeah, I'm hoping for a grand bargain, but I think realistically we will see a mini deal.
And just let it be worked out then in 1, 2, 3 months down the road?
Yes, and it's going to be that process until we get to the election, unfortunately. I don't think that the political system today is able to deliver the sorts of grand bargain that this country desperately needs.
So outside of, and these are huge implications, massive interest rate increases, falling dollar, what are the global economic impact that we're facing here if we don't see a deal? I mean, outside of the obvious, what should people be concerned about here?
We have an economic system globally that is constructed on the basis of a strong core. And in the middle of this core, at the center of the center, is the AAA credit rating of the United States. So the AAA credit rating holds together all sorts of things in the global system. If somehow we end up losing that AAA, then we will see a lot of realignments that can be very, very costly. That is why this is such a big issue. The system is not built for uncertainty about the credit standing of the AAA, right? And that's why it becomes the land of the unpredictable. We simply do not know how the global system will operate without the AAA at its center.
Who do you think is willing to give more? And I mean along party lines here. Are we looking at a tax increase? Are we looking at massive cuts to spending? Are we looking at cutting into Medicare, Medicaid, places where the president doesn't want to go, Social Security? I mean, who gives more here in the end? Even if we don't have that grand bargain that we're all hoping for, who gives more even in a mini deal?
Well, the reality is that we have to be honest with the American people. And if you're honest with the American people, then you have to have a balanced approach. You cannot go in and say, oh, no tax increases, we're not going to touch this spending, because the fiscal issue is so big that the only way you can solve it technically is through a balanced approach. So everything has to be on the table. You need both spending and tax reform. And that's just the reality of the numbers.
Who's giving more right now, in your opinion, watching Washington try and work this out?
I think it varies. You know, if you had asked me 3 days ago, I would tell you that the Republicans had the upper hand. Today, the Democrats have the upper hand. And this is very fluid. And that's why markets are nervous, is that they don't understand these dynamics. And it's not just within the U.S. If you travel, and I was away for 2 weeks, if you travel, people outside this country are scratching their head and saying, how can the superpower be behaving in this way?